Hi, good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to our graduation garden party 2020. The Department of Obstetrics and Gynecology at Harbor-UCLA Medical Center welcomes all of you, the graduates especially, in addition to your families, both here and virtually, to celebrate the accomplishments of the last 4 years or 3 years, depending. And certainly this is a unusual and unique graduation, unlike any that we've hosted before. And I just want to take a special shout out moment for those folks who really took the extra time and care and effort to make this a special day for everybody, commensurate with the accomplishment that deserves recognition. We have a lot of restrictions and a lot of new ways of operating, both literally operating in the hospital, but also operating in our social spheres. And Doctors Gallian, Nadella, and Yazdani really did a whole lot more work than I would have imagined to try to get everybody here today in a way that allows for the kind of celebration that I hope will be memorable for all of you for this important rite of passage. So a clap for those guys who put in a lot of extra time and effort, and to Ursula, who also helped with the logistics of getting all of this AV to work, and our team here today, who's hopefully keeping everybody connected with all of this celebration virtually. I know it's a little bit unusual, and certainly we're doing our best to try to make sure people have visibility to all of the folks on the line. And so if people need to get up when they're not eating, and put their mask back on and take a trip by the screen so you can see some of the folks who are joining you virtually and wave. Certainly feel free to do that, but while you're at your tables will be the sort of only location that will have the maskless eating and conviviality of that sort, and otherwise we'll be observing the social distancing and mask wearing as per protocol. So enough said about sort of those housekeeping pieces. I want to just take a moment to acknowledge again all of the work that has gone on for years and years, really decades, by the time our graduates get to this point in their training and at the launch of their career as OBGYNs. We know that it takes a village. It takes a lot of support from friends and family, from partners, and from children to help make it through what can be a really exhausting, grueling, and very rewarding time in training for the last 4 years. It's a big kudos to all of you who have been there to support these graduates in all of those endeavors, for the endless hours of studying, for the very long call shifts, for the post-call insanity that sometimes makes them say things that you can't imagine they were really thinking. That's happened to all of us. We've all been there. And you can look forward to having a time where they're able to sort of regain a little bit of that sanity now and hopefully settle into a life that seems a little bit more sustainable and certainly full of new opportunities in telemedicine and beyond that we have not yet really enjoyed broadly in the medical community. So, it's an uncharted course for everybody today. Those of us who've been in practice for quite a while, and for those of you who are just entering now, there's the currents of what's going on in terms of social justice, racial justice, the shift that we're seeing in the transformation of medicine, certainly begs us all to really come to the table in a way that we haven't ever before and really transform healthcare in service of all of the folks that we serve. And I know those of you who have trained at Harbor-UCLA are ready to meet that mission and that goal. You spent 4 years, or in Yoko's case longer since she was at LAC-USC before, in service of communities who are often not as recognized in the public sphere and whose needs may go unmet or certainly underappreciated. And so I just want to take a moment for everybody to acknowledge the work that you've already done in this space and the calling that you might have in your next role, even if not explicitly, to try to rise to that challenge that we all have as a society and as a community, as a medical profession. And so I think you're well equipped with some of the experiences you've had to date, and I would encourage you to take on those leadership roles as they present themselves to you in your next social locations, wherever they may be, whether they're here in Los Angeles or far beyond. I know some of you have sort of seized on that advocacy opportunity already, and thank you. And certainly look forward to seeing all the contributions that each of you will make to the profession in these unprecedented times as we all struggle to try to learn how we can best meet those needs of our communities in a new and innovative way. So thank you for the work that you've already done, for the service that you've given to the patients at Harbor, at Kaiser, at a bunch of different locations, but certainly for those of us who are your faculty at Harbor-UCLA, we have a great debt of gratitude for all of the care that you've taken for the last 4 years to ensure that those patients had the high quality expert care that we were able to provide to them as a team with your leadership in the last year. And thank you for doing that great work. I want to just turn the mic over, I guess, to Dr. Yazdani at this point. We'll give the claps now for the families, for the partners, for the kids, and for all of the people on the virtual Zoom who have helped to support these graduates. And welcome again to Graduation Garden Party 2020.
Okay. So we're going to start off with our awards and then go to the diplomas. But the one thing I just wanted to say before we get started is this has been kind of an unorthodox year. There's been a lot of challenges for each and every one of you. And I know 4 years has been fun having you guys around, but also there's ups and downs in the last 4 years, but certainly last 6 months. I want you to know that we all truly believe in you. We think that you guys are gonna go out there and help advance women and the status of women, the healthcare of women. You have been so well trained, each and every one of you, clinically, surgically. Urogyn is going to be so happy to have you, and Yoko too. So I really want you to believe in yourselves as you're going forward. I know that in the last few months you haven't been able to operate or even do the clinical care that is in your heart that you wanted to do, but I truly believe in every single one of you, and just keep doing the great work that you're going to do. I'm so excited to see what you guys are going to accomplish. Okay, we're going to start off with our so the first award is going to go to, that's not the right one. Okay, so this resident has over the years, over and over again, been kind of selected as a person who consistently shows dedication to teaching, spending the time and the patience it takes to really try to impart knowledge on the people that are coming behind her. She just has such a nice and kind spirit, and I think she's won this teaching award before. So here it is again, Sarah Hatlin, congratulations. Best Teaching Resident Award, voted by your peers. So this is great, congratulations. You can stand up here for a second just so they can see you. Dr. Betson, next award.
Welcome all again. Great to have you all here, and congratulations to all the chiefs and also the interns who have made it past their first year as well. So I have the honor of discussing the Systems-Based Practice Award. Well, considering every time we do our CCC clinic or reviews, all of the attendings are like, what exactly is systems-based practice? Because we always forget. So I had to kind of review some things to make sure that we're all on the same page here. So in general, they kind of talk about patient safety issues, and they talk about a systems-based approach, which, okay, fine. So they break it down in a couple different time frames here. They have one that is preventative stuff. So that's like the basic handoffs and sign outs and all that stuff. All of our residents are great at that stuff. Doing doing drills, we're all good at that stuff. So I can't exclude anything there. All 5 are in the running here. Then it became reporting, like who gets kind of the most, shall we say, upset, and likes to report, do SIs, do different things. And now I'm starting to narrow things down a little bit, kind of who we're talking about, who would do more root cause analysis. And then the next part was patient advocacy. And again, all of our residents are great with that stuff. But I had an experience the other day that really kind of sealed it for me. We were in the middle of, it was late at night, like 10 o'clock at night, and some reason we decided to do an external version at 10 o'clock at night, as typical, you know. And we're in one of the little triage rooms, so you know they're really tiny, so the bed almost comes towards the end of the wall. We're all kind of crammed in there, and 3 of us are trying to do the version. And this resident, all of a sudden I watched her, I'm like, she's got her foot up on the wall, she's got her hand up inside the woman, and we got the baby turned. It was awesome. And at that point, I'm like, she has been the most amazing for patient advocacy and really will go the extra mile for them. So for that reason, it would be Dr. Oliveri. Forget the mask. Congrats. Okay. All right.
Can you all hear me? Okay. As the clerkship director, I get the great honor of presenting the Med Student Teaching Award. All of our chiefs are excellent teachers, and actually the med students are constantly always raving about everyone. It's a little bit lower. Oh, right. I also get to do that. Okay. And they have kind words about everyone. But there is one person that I think we all admire for her kindness, her patience, her understanding of when people mess up and not yelling, which we all loved when we were third-year medical students. Sorry, I had a couple of words that some of our students said about her specifically. I think you all already know who this is. And of course, it did not sync to my phone. That's great. The students appreciated her patience, kindness, ability to explain something that was conceptually really hard, because as her love for OB just kind of overflows, their fear is also overflowing. And they always commented and felt that they had never felt as comfortable as they did with this one particular resident. Dr. Minha Maturana, you are the teacher of all teachers. You're the mama resident. You make our students feel welcome. You teach them what it's like just to be a doctor. And if nothing else, they always commend you for what an incredible role model you are as a person, as a female leader in the field, and of course, as an OB-GYN. And I hope you only continue to teach everyone. And I'm so sorry, I also just realized that I'm not gonna see you guys after this. So, but please come up and grab your award. Thank you, Minha. Oh. Yay, yeah, mama. There we go, sorry. I get a couple of good honors. So also as the MIS surgeon, there are 2 big MIS organizations, SLS and AAGL, and they both have a resident surgical award. And so we're gonna start with, let me make sure I got my right, with the SLS award. This resident was one of the first residents I operated with when I started last year, and I was blown away by her surgical ability. She was especially as a third year, I was really impressed and couldn't believe how advanced she already was. But not only as a primary surgeon, but then I saw her take her juniors through operating, and being able to teach someone and assist a junior surgeon, I think is an additional skill set that we all aim to have and only continue to grow. Of course, over the last year, she's only grown and grown as a surgeon, and I know she'll be taking care and doing wonderful things for our patients. Dr. Sarah Hatlin, if you can come up and grab this award. You also get an SLS membership. Woohoo! Put that in here. There you go. Thank you. Oh, okay. Yeah, dark on dark. Okay. Also, so the other one, the AGL award. Similarly, I didn't get to operate with this resident as much when I first got here, but I've gotten to operate with her a lot more during her chief year. And she too is a phenomenal surgeon. And I think even, I remember we were operating, I was like, wow, that was a great thought. What a great move. Like, it was just this, like, I remember thinking this when we were doing feedback afterwards. And that's because she is just such a great surgeon and has great skills, but has already developed that creativity and adjustment that I think is also really indicative of an advanced surgeon. And also very good about troubleshooting and teaching her juniors as well. Always a blast to operate with you, and I'm sad we won't have any more. Dr. Erica Barrios.
Okay, and the last award today is the Research Award. Getting research done at Harbor-UCLA is no easy task. But when this resident decided to go into fellowship, he really approached us with a lot of energy and excitement to get his feet wet into the Urogyne sphere, and really took it, I think, very far, considering, again, a lot of the restrictions we have at Harbor with our IRB and other steps. So proud of all of the research accomplishments you have made. Even when you went on the interview trail, I'll have to say, a lot of the PDs were like, he's got a lot of research going on. That's great. So congratulations, Pedro. Great job on your research this year. I look forward to the future of research with you at Yale. Yama yama. Wave at your friend. So it is time for the chiefs to all come up here and present the very prestigious CREOG National Teaching Award.
Hello, all. The graduating class of 2020 has elected Dr. Im as the recipient of the CREOG National Faculty Award for Excellence in Residency Education. Dr. Im has consistently provided a learning environment in the OR, the ideal balance of autonomy and direction while maintaining patient safety and focus. He dedicates himself to his patients at several hospitals and is only one phone call away from Harbor-UCLA at 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Wherever he is, whenever we need him, he will be there. He allows residents to explore themselves as surgeons and allows residents to often take the lead in the operating room while he coaches us through the most basic of procedures to the most complex. He allows us as residents to learn and grow while leaning on him when we need him the most. Thank you, Dr. Im, for all that you do for our patients and for us as residents. We are all eternally grateful for your commitment to the residency program. I don't know if he's watching. Yeah, I was gonna say, I hope he's watching.
Okay. Our wind is picking up here for all those people at home. Okay. The next award will be presented by Yoko Takashima Bean, who will present the FPRMS Teaching Award.
Okay, so the Urogyne Fellows also get to give a teaching award to one of our faculty members. and I'm really excited I get to present this next award. Um, this year we wanted to recognize Dr. Yazdani. Not only is she, I know. oh, sorry. Okay, so we wanted to recognize Dr. Yazdani this year. So not only has she been such a phenomenal surgeon in the OR, a great clinician and teacher, but she's been such a supportive mentor and friend over the past 3 years. The best part about Dr. Yazdani is really her genuine passion and excitement for Urogyne, which I think is pretty rare to find someone who's just really excited about prolapse and incontinence. But that's Dr. Yazdani, and that's the mentor that we get to train with for 3 years here at Harbor. So yeah, Dr. Yazdani really deserves this award this year, and I think she deserves some kind of recognition every year for everything that she does for the fellowship and also for the department and the residency program.
Okay. There is one more Urogyne Award. I'm all emotional. Thank you, guys. I wanted to especially recognize somebody that has made tremendous contributions to Urogyne at Harbor-UCLA. The Urogyne program at Harbor has been going on for 30 years or longer. It's probably 35 years now. We were the first fellowship program in the country to be accredited by ABOG. We were one of the first programs to be accredited by ACGME. And it's been quite a journey, through the many different stages of Harbor-UCLA, but it's amazing. I think we have a very strong program training great surgeons, helping women with incontinence, prolapse, and all their pelvic floor disorders. But this particular person, Dr. Amy Rosamond, has been a part of this program for close to 20 years now. And she has trained generations and generations of Harbor-UCLA urogynecologists, and her approach to teaching, her incredible wisdom and kindness. I think, every single year, the residents and the residents at UCLA and the faculty and the fellows at Harbor are in awe of just kind of how phenomenal a surgeon, a human being, a person, a mentor, a teacher, and a personal friend she is to me. So thank you so much, Amy. We have a certificate and an award for you for all your years of dedication. We're so sad that this is the end of the journey for you at Harbor-UCLA, but hopefully in the future at some point you'll be able to do some more work with us. Thank you so much. We love you. Cynthia, do you mind coming up and helping me with the diplomas? Okay, on to the exciting part. This is officially the moment where you will be graduated from this program, y'all, and we're so excited for you. I hope this doesn't fall on me now. So we will be presenting the diplomas. We're gonna tag team it this year. I will present our two A-chiefs, and Dr. Robinson will present our residents. I'm very excited to be joining forces with her this year. So let's do this. I'm gonna promise not to cry. Okay. Pedro, originally from Peru, with an accent you like to joke about. Pedro graduated from college at Brigham Young and then medical school in Chicago. We were incredibly enthusiastic about recruiting him to Harbor OBGYN. He has proven to be an excellent fit, someone who cares deeply for the indigent and disenfranchised population of Los Angeles County, and someone who has developed strong surgical and clinical skills in a fast-paced, surgery-heavy OBGYN program. It takes a lot of confidence, courage and self-assuredness to be one of the only guys in a program filled with super strong women. But somehow, Pedro has navigated this space with ease. He adds laughter and kindness into every space and approaches each of his colleagues and coworkers with an easy and natural energy. His ability to connect with people is amazing. Throughout his training, I have seen people just relax in his presence. They understand he is going to approach them with honesty and trust he is always going to do the right thing. Because of his formidable EQ skills and leadership acumen, he was chosen as administrative chief. He has been hailed not only by his colleagues, but by faculty and nursing as a voice of reason and certainty. And even during these very difficult times, we have asked him to join our leadership huddles to provide resident perspective. He always does so by evenly balancing both sides. And finally, he's proven himself as a go-getter. He's contributed to our program through a service on residency council. This is where residents and faculty solve education and training related issues, as a nurse physician liaison, and as well as on national committees. And how he does it all, I don't know. This past year, he was a resident member of the ACOG Committee on Healthcare for the Underserved. And in his free time, he contributes to local food banks and other charities. And then let's not forget about Eurogyne, I would be remiss. As a resident, he was chosen as one of 10 students throughout the country to be an OGS Resident Scholar, as well as he won the OGS Excellence in Residence Award. His future in Eurogyne is bright. We will miss your infectious laughter and humor, your kindness, your wisdom, your overall wonderful personality. I am personally so proud that you're entering FPMRS. You're so perfectly suited for this. I expect you to see you as a leader and a colleague at national meetings and wish you the best of luck. I know you're going to advance the cause for this silent condition, and I hope that you return to the county population. You promised me you would, because we need people like you. I'm thrilled that your parents are able to join by Zoom from Peru today, and your sister Jimena is here, and Catherine. You all played a very important role in developing Pedro and an important role in his life, and we're so proud of you, Pedro. Cheers. It's like I can't. Okay, this is gonna fall. Okay. Fun and eclectic. A force to be reckoned with. A queen. Who else can I be talking about but Erica Barrios? I'm gonna keep you in suspense for that minute. Erica Barrios knows what she wants and stands up for what she believes in. She never shies away from a challenge, and her bravery and honesty are amazing to watch in action. Dr. Barrios graduated from the University of Miami with 3 degrees, a BA in biochem with a minor in art history, her MD, and her MBA before coming to Harbor-UCLA. And as an intern, I remember how she came in with full confidence, ready to learn and impact the county system. I knew she was a boss on the day she rolled into conference, barely on time. I think you were actually late. Later to find out she had taken the parking spot of the outpatient medical director of the hospital, who later was like, did your resident just roll up 5 minutes late and take my parking spot? It's like, yeah. It's Erica. She was very humble and apologized and moved her car later, but she did that. I love how Erica somehow avoids the drama and the fray, yet always leads the fight. This mixture of having a deep understanding and maturity, as well as the ability to read people, is awe-inspiring. And to top it all off, she's transformed over the last 4 years into a fantastic OBGYN, a phenomenal surgeon, and someone with great clinical judgment. I know that every time you're on service, the faculty are excited to have you because they know the patients are going to be so well taken care of. Erica's not only served as an advocate and the biggest fan of Harbor-UCLA OBGYN, but also the hospital as a whole. She clearly joined our program because she wanted to make an impact, help the underserved, and speak out for those who cannot. This year, she was voted as the chair of CIR, the Council of Residents and Interns. And in that role, she had a platform to make real change and meet with hospital leaders to share the resident perspective. And most recently, she's been standing at the front lines, gathering up her co-physicians to take a stand against racism, inequality, endemic justices that plague our communities. I and many of our faculty have been proud to see her leading the fight and by her commitment and passion. And even in her academic goals, including her research project, she demonstrated a passion for creating the system in small ways. She worked hard to prove partner testing is important and how we can impact the lives of women in the county. And yet she does it all without an interest in her own limelight or praise. She stays calm and poised, even in the most stressful situations. I've personally learned a lot from you, Erica, during our many hours and time together as a chief. We're so grateful for your input, your advice, your kindness. You're such a good person with such a kind heart. I know you're going to be the CMO of a hospital one day, or apparently president of the United States. There will be a big void here when you leave. I know residents are going to miss you and the faculty too. Best of luck for everything. Thank you, Mr. and Mrs. Barrios, for joining us today and raising such a wonderful daughter. And Luis, take good care of her. I know you're going to create a great life together in Texas. Congratulations. Cheers.
Sarah, I remember one incredibly busy day on L&D when we finally found a few minutes to sit down and actually pump. And we were both pumping in the workroom and trying to catch up on some, computer work. And our intern was seeing a new triage, nothing out of the ordinary. When all of a sudden you looked up and saw this strip and you weren't happy. Girl, you ripped off those pumps so fast, went to nothing. I ripped off mine likewise and ran right after you, straight into the OR for an emergency C-section. I don't even think we had time to clasp our bras back. But in the middle of the OR, in the gowns, nobody knew, and at least we were there. Sarah, you're such an astute clinician, and you have an excellent clinical judgment that's so refreshingly easy to work with you. I've been so fortunate to have this opportunity many times over the last 4 years. We spent many a Thursday afternoon your intern year in GYN clinic. And while I know you dreaded every single resident clinic that year, you always came present with a plan for your patients and a differential diagnosis. Over the years, some things have changed. Your plans have definitely become more complex. You've gained confidence in your clinical and your surgical skills, which have allowed you to doubt yourself a little bit less. But your focus on providing evidence-based clinical care has not wavered. The other thing that hasn't changed, your Spanish skills. When I was on call with Paula or Minha or Erica or Pedro, I knew I was covered. But girl, you and me doing postpartum rounds and GYN walk rounds on the weekend was atrocious. Thank God for the translator phones. Over the last year, we've shared more in common than we ever could have imagined 4 years ago. We celebrated your surprise baby shower on labor and delivery, and then you and I became moms together. And we had to figure out this world of childcare and pumps and sippy cups and infant fevers. I've been able to watch Theo grow, and we excitedly welcomed him on L&D as a bright spot in our weekend calls. It's been awesome to watch you and Tim dote on him and to see how excited you got when sharing his latest milestone or the next best picture of him and Marv. I listened as you started counseling discharging moms differently about what to expect in the first few days and weeks after going home with a new baby. I saw you empathize with the dissatisfied patient whose labor had not gone according to her plan. And I smiled as her demeanor changed from anger to gratefulness once you disclosed that you also were a new mom and she could sense that you really understood her heart. And I've watched you redline a patient from the emergency room straight to the OR, aware of the extreme importance of that woman's life to her family and to the little ones that she had at home. As I observed you carrying little Theo for the 9 months of your pregnancy, by the way, you'd never missed a beat during that pregnancy, I was reminded of your progression and your maturation over the last 4 years. Not only have you now birthed Theo, but this department has birthed a well-prepared, knowledgeable, competent Dr. Sarah Hatlin, who is ready to make her mark on the world of OBGYN. Sarah, we love you and we'll miss you. Congratulations. Early Saturday morning, September 8th, 2018, Minhai and I were finishing a call together. The residents had been up practically the whole night, so I said, you all should go get some rest. I'll push with the patient and call you when the delivery is imminent. Those of you who know me know I love a good push on L&D. But on this particular morning, I didn't last very long at the perineum. I got up and went into the workroom to sit and just rest for a second. And seemingly out of nowhere, here Minha comes through the door. She walks right to her bag and pulled out a sleeve of Ritz crackers. As she handed them to me, she didn't say a word. She just gave me a hug and looked at me knowingly. Pretty soon, everyone else knew I also was pregnant. But Minha's seemingly small act that morning got me through the rest of that call and at least halfway home before everything came up on the side of the road. Minha, you are loving, compassionate, and kind. You display an unusual warmth and empathy toward your patients and your colleagues that endear you to us. You have a radiant smile, a sincere heart, a caring spirit, and an absolutely wonderful bedside manner. You're extremely patient in the OR with your juniors. You somehow remain cool, calm, and collected in the middle of a complete chaos on L&D, like the night we had back-to-back eclamptic seizures. And in the morning, there's never a strand of your hair that's out of place. Working with you is witnessing humanism in medicine in its truest form. Thank you for seeing your patients as individuals and for humanizing them in your notes by using their names as you tell their stories. For genuinely listening to ER patients in the middle of the night who seem to have forgotten why they actually came to the ED and want to tell us their entire life story from birth. For always finding the silver lining in a bad situation or a negative interaction, and for reminding us all that prenatal vitamins and Miralax are the most important discharge medications for postpartum moms. You will be greatly missed. I know your juniors will miss the bags of sweet and salty goodness you always seem to remember to bring for night shifts and calls, like the night you bought brownie mug treats that your team mixed and microwaved and made in the middle of the night. We'll all miss your remarkable knowledge of urban Black rap music and artists. I mean, of all people, I should have known some of those quotes you posted on the letterboard in the resident room. And while I too love Tupac, you left me dumbfounded and you incredulous that I didn't know them all. On a more serious note, thank you for teaching us what work-life balance actually looks like. You showed us that you can show up to work as a resident in a field that has high stakes while also showing up for your family. You're probably the only person I know who can survive and thrive on fewer hours of sleep than I can. You're an amazing mom to Jezza and Maya and an awesome physician and colleague. Minha, we're so incredibly proud of you. Congratulations. And last, but by all means not least, Dr. Robinson, this bleeding is not stopping. I can't tell you how many times over the last 4 years I've heard those words uttered out of Paula's mouth, or something very similar. From a Foley balloon placement during a normal induction that led to massive hemorrhage, to a post-cesarean section take-back who hemorrhaged in the recovery room, to a seemingly routine repeat cesarean section that ended in a hysterectomy due to atony and massive bleeding, to the ruptured ectopic in the ED who we kept telling her she needed to go to the OR, yet she refused surgery. Paula, we kept finding ourselves in some very bloody situations. But it's in those moments when a woman's life hangs in the balance, where your strong leadership, your no-nonsense personality, your exemplary surgical skills, and your tremendous knowledge of OB and GYN literature work together harmoniously. On just our shifts together, I've seen you save lives, and for that, you should be very proud. And while not all of our stories ended positively, no one can ever say that you didn't give every single thing you had to every single patient you encountered. My most salient memory of you occurred early in your chief year in the emergency room's trauma bay. I remember receiving the page like it was yesterday, a 9-month pregnant woman involved in a hit and run with unknown vital signs. Estimated time of arrival, 3 minutes. Your poise as we watched the paramedics rush her into the room, your professionalism in communicating with the other teams who were present, and the precision with which you wielded that scalpel and did that emergency C-section on a mom who was taking her final breaths in order to try to give that baby a chance at life was truly remarkable to witness. I gained a tremendous amount of respect for you that night, and you'll never ever know how proud I truly was to call you one of our department's residents. The last 4 years have not always been easy, I know that. And you've had to grow in some ways that you readily embraced, and in some ways that you had absolutely no interest in. But guess what? It happened anyway. So thank you for allowing us to push you. But more importantly, Paula, thank you for pushing us out of our comfort zone sometimes by asking hard questions, for challenging us on management decisions we've suggested that didn't quite make sense to you, and for proposing solutions to clinical scenarios that required some pretty out-of-the-box thinking sometimes. Thank you for being passionate about the treatment plans you've made for your patients, for tirelessly advocating for them when necessary, and for not allowing anyone to settle for status quo on your watch. Paula, your day has finally come. You shined as a chief, but we all know you were born to be a boss. In fact, it's no secret that this is the day you've been waiting for since day number 1 of residency. Congratulations on getting here. We're going to miss you. To all 5 of you, the great poet laureate, Dr. Seuss, said, be who you are and say what you feel, because those who mind don't matter, and those who matter don't mind. Speak your truth. The world needs your strength. The field of OBGYN needs your voices. Your patients need your hearts. Your colleagues need your spirits, and strangers need your incredible smiles. Thank you for ultimately making us all better doctors, because we had the opportunity to learn and to grow from and with you. The OBGYN department at Harbor was made better because each one of you was here.
Okay, and on to our Eurogyne fellow, Yoko Takashima Bean. Where do I begin with Yoko Takashima? We knew she was special when she started in our program. She really reminds me actually of Belle from Beauty and the Beast. I may be watching too much Disney Plus, but go with me here. She is really kind of as a person who has it all: brains, beauty, kindness, bravery, and of course, the surgical chops of an amazing FPMRS surgeon. Yoko trained at Case Western and had 4 majors, of course, because this is Yoko. She majored in biology with minors in psychiatry, chemistry, and art. and then went on to medical school in Ohio. She wanted a change of pace and then completed her residency at USC. She came extremely highly recommended to us. We successfully recruited her to our OBGYN program for fellowship. Yoko is a naturally gifted surgeon in the OR and really has been since the first day of fellowship. Watching her perform her first few vaginal hysterectomies, I'm like, when am I going to teach her? She actually knew what the planes were, where to place the clamps, how to perform the surgery, and really how I knew how amazing she was is how to teach. She was ready to teach her juniors and the residents that were in our program from the first month of her fellowship when it came to vaginal hysterectomies. Aside from her clinical and surgical skills, one of the most endearing qualities about Yoko is that she's truly loved by all and is one of the kindest people that I know. She goes out of her way for her patients, her colleagues, her friends, and her family. She became a mother during fellowship, and the love and care she gives Austin is inspiring. She gives of her time freely and is an excellent teacher and educator. Her patience, attention to detail, and compassion are clearly what makes her stand out. And Yoko has an incredible enthusiasm for Urogyne, and her passion is demonstrated by her productivity. Yoko started her training very frustrated by research, kind of had gone down the path a few times and wasn't as successful as she wanted. But it goes to show that when you find your passion, research questions follow. She became the recipient of 2 research grants totaling over $30,000, completed numerous projects, including an educational symposium and research project on training models for pelvic surgery, a pudendal cadaveric nerve study, a quality improvement study. Hopefully that's going to improve primary care physicians discussing urinary incontinence with their patients, and then her final thesis project on Botox and its impact on patients with diabetes. She reviewed over 600 patients' charts and didn't say a peep, didn't complain at all about this project that really took over a year and a half to complete. We truly feel like a part of your family, Yoko, and you will be forever a part of ours. You went through major life changes and milestones while in fellowship, including having your baby, getting married, and I hope you will always stay connected to Harbor OBGYN and FPMRETs. We're so proud to have you as a graduate of our program. I'll be hitting you up for some Urogyne lectures starting in a few months. I hope you know that. And I can't wait to have you as a lifelong calling and my friend. We'll miss you. I'm thrilled to see your son, Austin, your lovely parents, and Chad here to support you today. They should be so proud of the amazing doctor and surgeon you have become. Go get them, Yoko. Cheers. So proud of you. So we have a short slideshow that was prepared by our 3rd-year residents that we're going to play right now. And so if you guys want to just gather around this screen so you can see the slideshow, and we'll play the music, and put your masks on as well. Let's do that. Okay.
Return to the Mac. Get up what it is, what it does, what it is, what it isn't. Looking for a better way to get up out of bed instead of getting on the internet and checking a new hit. Get up. First shot, hip strut walking. A little bit of humble, a little bit of cautious. Somewhere between like Rocky and Cosby's for the game. Nope, nope, y'all can't copy yet. Glad moonwalking. This here is a party. My posse's been on Broadway, and we did it all way. Chrome music. I shed my skin and put my bones into everything I record to it. And yeah, I'm on. Let that stage light go and shine on down. Got that Bob Barker suit game and Plinko in my style. money. Stay on my craft and stick around for those pounds. But I do that to pass the torch and put on for my town. Trust me, I'm my INDEPENDENT shit hustling. Chasing dreams since I was 14 with the 4-track bustin'. Halfway across that city with the back crush shit. Labels out here, now they can't tell me nothing. We give that to the people, spread it across the country. Labels out here, now they can't tell me nothing. We give it to the people, spread it across the country. Here we go back, this is the moment, tonight is the night. We'll fight till it's over, so we put our hands up like the ceiling can't hold us. Like the ceiling can't hold us. Here we go back, this is the moment, tonight is the night. We'll fight till it's over, so we put our hands up like the ceiling can't hold us. Like the ceiling can't hold us. Wu-Tang raised you, y'all can't stop me. Go hard like I got an 808 in my heartbeat. And I'm eating at the beat like it gave a little speed to a great white shark on Shark Week. Wow, time to go up, gone. Deuces goodbye, I got a world to see. And my girl, she wanna see Rome. Caesar make you a believer. Nah, I never ever did it for a throne. That validation comes from giving it back to the people. Now, sing this song and it goes like, raise those hands, this is our party. We came here to live life like nobody was watching. I got my city right behind me. If I fall, they got me. Learn from that failure, gain humility, and then we keep marching. And we go back, this is the moment, tonight is the night. We'll fight till it's over, so we put our hands up like the ceiling can't hold us. Like the ceiling can't hold us. Go back, this is the moment, tonight is the night. We'll fight till it's over, so we put our hands up like the ceiling can't hold us. Like the ceiling can't hold us. So we put our hands up.
Got nothing in my brain. That's what people say. That's what people say. I go on too many dates, but I can't make them stay. At least that's what people say. That's what people say. But I keep cruising, can't stop, won't stop moving. It's like I got this music in my mind saying it's gonna be alright. 'Cause the player's gonna play, and the hater's gonna hate, baby. I'm just gonna shake, 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 shake it off. Lower, to the right, to the right. There you go, right there. Lower, yeah, right there. I'm lightning on my feet, and that's what they don't see. That's what they don't see. I'm dancing on my own, I'll make the moves up as I go, and that's what they don't know. That's what they don't know. But I keep cruising, can't stop, won't stop grooving. play. And my haters gonna hate, 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 baby. I'm just gonna shake, 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 shake. Shake it off, shake it off. Fingers gonna break, 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 break. And my fingers gonna bake, 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 baby. I'm just gonna shake, 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 shake. Shake it off, shake it off. Shake it off, shake it off. I shake it off, I shake it off. I shake it off, I shake it off. I shake it off, I shake it off.
Hey, hey, hey. Just think while you've been getting down and out about the liars and the dirty, dirty cheats of the world, you could have been getting down to this sick beat.
My ex-man brought his new girlfriend. She's like, oh my God, but I'm just gonna shake into the fella over there with the hella good hair. Won't you come on over, baby? We can shake, shake, shake. Yeah. 'Cause the players gonna play, 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 play. And the haters gonna hate, 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 baby. I'm just gonna shake, 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 shake.
It's been a long day without you, my friend. And I'll tell you all about it when I see you again. We've come a long way from where we began.
But something told me that it wouldn't last. Had to switch up, look at things different, see the bigger picture. Those were the days, hard work forever pays. Now I see you in a better place. How can we not talk about family when family's all that we got? Everything I went through, you were standing there by my side. And now you gon' be with me for the last ride.
It's been a long day without you.
Wait, you guys, what is this?
See you again. We've come a long way from where we began. Oh, I'll tell you all about it when I see you again. When I see you again.
First you both go out your way and the vibe is feeling stronger. With small turn to a friendship turn to a bond, and that bond will never be broken. The love will never get lost. And when brotherhood come first, then the line will never be crossed. Established it on our own when that line had to be drawn, and that line is what we reach. So remember me when I'm gone. How can we not talk about family when family's all that we got? Everything I went through, you were standing there by my side. And now you gon' be with me for the last ride.
Let the light guide your way. Yeah. Hold every memory as you go, and every road you take will always lead you.
Okay, so now we have the strange, sorry, mask sheriff. So now we have some of the, oddities of Zoom, but we want to make sure that everybody who's not here in person is able to really say congratulations together with all of you. So we're going to invite everybody up to the stage to have a toast with the cameras, and then that will be captured for the folks who are, not with us in person. And thank you to the juniors that I think was the third year class who put together the slideshow, to the other folks who made today possible, to Dr. Nadella's family for having us and letting us put on a different kind of graduation here today. And again, thank you to everybody who's been a part of not just the last 4 years, but the last many. Let's go ahead and say the last more than a decade of getting the people who are celebrating their accomplishments here today to this point in their lives and their careers. Kudos to all of you. You've done amazing work. You're going to be amazing doctors. You already are, but you're going to be amazing doctors without all of us, finally. I know you're thrilled. We'll miss you. Come up here and have a toast to celebrate.
Does everybody have a glass? There's extras. No, we need to fill them with something. You guys in the center. You guys go in. Go in. No, we can't do that. Come in, everyone. Everyone. Come in. Oh, yeah. Everybody. Everyone, come in. Everyone, even the picture takers. What is the faculty? Everybody. Oh, okay. Picture of them. Of them. Come on.
Hey. Screw the math. I'm going to die. Yay, it's over, man. Did it. Cheers. I've never had a drink.
I'll take it with all the faculty.
be chill, but you're so hot that I melted. I fell right through the cracks. Now I'm trying to get back. Before the cool done run out, I'll be giving it my bestest, and nothing's gonna stop me but divine intervention. I reckon it's again my turn to win some or learn some, but I won't hesitate no more, no more. It cannot wait. I'm yours. Well, open up your mind and see like me. Open up your plans and damn, you're free. I look into your heart and you'll find love, 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 and love. Listen to the music of the moment, people dance and sing. We're just one big family, and it's our God-forsaken right to be loved. Love, 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 love. So I won't hesitate no more, no more. It cannot wait. I'm sure there's no need to complicate. Our time is short. This is our fate. I'm yours. Do you want to come on? Scooch on over closer, dear, and I will nibble your ear. Soon to I've been spending way too long checking my tongue in the mirror and bending over backwards just to try to see it clearer. But my breath fogged up the glass, and so I drew a new face and I laughed. I guess what I'll be saying is there ain't no better reason to rid yourself of vanities and just go with the seasons. It's what we aim to do.